And we're back. Action. So this part of the assembly, when that planetary gets mounted on there, because it gets lubed through that fitting on the top, we're going to put silicone all the way around this to get a good tight seal. Doesn't take a lot. You know, a lot of guys you see, they put a ton of that stuff on there and it oozes out all over the place. All you need is a really good seal. Just enough, because when those bolts are put in, they're put in nice and tight. And you notice how Ed's going around each one of the bolt openings? So he's got both the inside and outside of that bolt hole cleaned up. All right, so I'm gonna come over here and get his bolts in place, lock washers, pick up that planetary unit,
find the mark,
find his bottom mark, and slide it. Hopefully it'll go easier than that wheel went on there.
Yeah.
Just look at that. Slide that puppy right in there. So what did we have? We had, I think, 18 bolts on the inner we put in, right?
10 back here.
And this takes 10. Now, you said on the inner bolts, there were different depths. Some of them were longer, some of them were shorter.
Yeah. Clear the...
Had to clear that ball joint, right? So that when it swiveled, it wouldn't hit the bolts. I wonder why they just didn't use shorter bolts all the way around. Well, we're not the engineers. We don't design it. We're just trying to put it back together so we'll be in good shape. There you go. Slug those puppies right up. Look at that. Now look at that silicone, this relatively small amount that Ed put on there. And look at the amount that's oozing out. You know, that's an indicator that everything is nice and straight. We're getting a good seal all the way around.
I let that dry, then I shave it with a razor blade.
Okay.
After it's dry.
All right, so all right. Well, yeah, see, we got another helpful hint from Ed. He said you want to let that silicone dry before you go. Some guys might take their thumb and try and run it around it, but if you let it dry, it seals up. Then he takes a razor blade and goes all the way around. Another trick they know over here at North American in Danbury. All right. Here's your light. So Ed can see what he's doing. Got to get that just right, because now what he's got to do, he's got to line up with the spline on that axle coming out, and he's got to line up with those three planetaries. So this is a bit tricky. Takes a little bit of time, a little bit of finesse. Move it back and forth. We get the under the butt shot here from Ed. Just fitting that puppy right in here. And like everything else,
It's fighting.
it's fighting. All right. Where'd it go? Oh, look at that! Look at that. Shine your light in there, Ed, so everybody can see it. Look at how that puppy slides right in there. There we go. Got an O-ring,
Snap ring.
snap ring, which snapped out of his pliers.
Okay.
Bingo bango.
There, good and tight.
Bingo bango. Clean this off. You got your line on there somewhere. I don't know where they have your line on.
The line's okay, it was down
Yeah,
here.
oh yeah, there it is. You're right.
I rotated this. See, this
Ooh.
axle's locked, so I can't rotate it
Okay.
very easily. I need a heavy bar to do it.
Okay.
It's got-
Yeah, Ed was saying it.
Spider gears are probably welded together in the rear.
The rear wheels are locked so that they both turn in the same direction. What were you saying? Like
What's that?
when both wheels are locked, it's like positive traction, right?
Positive lock, yes.
Yeah, so both wheels turn in the same direction all the time. The fronts are a little bit different. Ed said they're unlocked so that they rotate at different speeds. And I think it's probably as you go around a corner, as you go around a bend, the outside wheel turns faster, I think, than the
Yes.
inside wheel, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and you do most of your steering on the front so that as you make your turn, the inside wheel, it's kind of like on a record player when you're, towards it. Who remembers record players anymore, right?
Yeah. Showing your age there, Tom.
Yeah, I know. But the inside of the record spins certainly much faster than the outside of the record. And that's the situation that happens here. So, again, another good coat of silicone sealant. Get his bolts in place and get his lines lined up so he knows where they go. We're coming down the home stretch here, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ed, we've run out of parts.
Pretty much.
Oh, baby, you want to?
Nope, I'm not turning it.
You ain't turning that puppy. Not now.
Lock.
With all that
Get
stuff
on
in
that
it?
wheel over there. See if you can turn that wheel forward. It's not that critical because I can still fill it.
Let me get over to the other side and see if I can help Ed a little bit. Which way we want to go, Ed? Forward? Yeah!
No, because you're trying to turn over the whole drive line.
Nah. Well, you got it in neutral, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in neutral, but
You're trying to turn the transfer case backwards.
yeah,
Front
yeah.
So we'll be fine.
All right.
It's just time to let her sit for a little bit. Put some oil in it.
All right. Well, I guess all our viewers have gotten a chance to really view something that most people don't get to see. You know, the mechanics of how these things work, how they go together, all the complexities and all the parts. I mean, you go to a Monster Jam show or something, and you know, they get out there, they run those trucks hard for, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops as they go around a track, take the applause, and then it goes back into the shop, and the driver will tell the mechanic that, hey, it's not doing this or it's not doing that. It's like any race car. And the mechanic is left with solving the problem so that the driver can go out there and take all the applause again for doing such a great job of driving the truck. And if he blows it up or flips it over and smashes it, he gets even more applause. But then he goes back into the shop, and the guy's got to fix it. So, oh yeah, we got that strap.
Yeah, safety strap.
Safety strap. Good, I forgot all about that. That, how does that strap go onto that yellow
Wrap around the back.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So it's actually, it's on the outer housing, which is
Yes.
the part of the wheel, okay, that we had the dog putting on there, because right in the center where those 18 bolts are, just below where Ed's putting the strap on, again, as I said, is the weakest point in this whole assembly. And if there's going to be a failure, it's usually at that location, and the hub or the wheel rather snaps off and goes rolling on its own. And I had a wheel up at the shop on a fork truck, moving it around, and if that son of a gun didn't roll off the fork truck and take off down the hill, I mean, those wheels are, not these wheels, these are these wheels here are the transporter wheels, the smaller wheels, just so we can get it onto a rollback to the transporter wheels. But the full monster tires, if you will, that you'll see on when the truck is out performing, those tires that are, what is it, 5.5 feet tall, 43 inches wide, and I took them out and had them weighed, Ed. They're 880 pounds each.
Yeah.
And that thing gets rolling. It's, that's almost as heavy as some cars that are out there. So you don't want that wheel breaking loose and going off somewhere and hitting someone or something and causing havoc. So that's why this strap is put on there. And of course this the left rear, which we're working on, has been a dog since day one. That was the initial, when I had the truck and we were running it up at the site, this wheel was blowing lubricant out of it. It was the worst one of all. And now I can understand why. This one is just hexed. I think there's a curse on this wheel or something. So Ed will tinker around until he gets it pretty close to where he wants it to be. Fortunately, he doesn't need a bigger hammer. He can just use that little one he's got. But sway that in there.
Go fight. No, gotta take it back out.
Take it back out. All right. Start all over again.
Yep.
The curse of the left rear wheel assembly.
Yeah,
Somebody put a hex upon it. Well, you know what, Ed? I think we got 99%. Everybody understands what we did and how we did it. So I think we can call it a day. We're going to check the fluids in the Clark housings, button it up, and that's it. So again, I'll do a quick walk around for you, so you can see what we did. Ed's got the transporter wheels back on the right rear. The front wheels are back on, and we'll finish up. Sure doesn't look like a monster truck in this condition, huh? Stripped down. It's like, you go to the doctor's office, you got one of those skeletons hanging in the corner to explain to you all the vertebrae and bones and everything. Well, this is kind of the same way. We've got the body off it, stripped down to the skeleton, so we can examine everything, make sure everything is in place, and we're good to go. All right, we got to say goodbye to Ed, and thanks again. We're out of here. Don't forget, trybluebuzzard.com.